Taking care of rental goods from A to Z can be overwhelming, but it does not need to be. As I'm sure you can relate to, it's often a never-ending cycle of stressful moments, from having an overview of your products and where they are, to remembering to check for and actually checking for any potential defects upon return. It's only normal that this process can be chaotic. But what if Odoo could easily help you keep track of your product availability, quality checks, and potential repairs? What about online availability, of course? And what if someone returns these items later than expected? Hello, everyone. My name is Norman. In this talk, I'd like to guide you through some of the possibilities Odoo offers for any entrepreneur or business that rent out goods, whether that is on a regular basis or once every blue moon. Let me introduce you to the Casual Peloton, a fictional raceback rental shop in West Flanders. At the Casual Peloton, they offer a variety of race bikes for rent, but also the option to rent out race bikes with accessories such as tire levers, pumps, tubes, etc. At the Casual Peloton, the clients can place or request an order via email or with a call, and they can also, of course, place an order directly on the website. To illustrate how using Odoo we manage the rental flows of the Casual Peloton and how you could manage your rental flows, we'll split the use case up in 3 phases or steps. The first step is centered around the ordering and the pickup process in the backend when a customer calls or after he or she, of course, has sent an email. In the second phase, we'll focus on the online aspect of the business. Together, we'll go over how online clients can place an order for the bike of their choosing at a time of their choosing, up until the point where they actually pick up the bike for the leisurely stroll on and around some of the most iconic roads Belgium has to offer. And last, but certainly not least, we will go over the return of the bikes, the necessary quality controls, and possible required repairs, as well as the invoice, naturally, whether they originated online or not. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. Let's not pretend, of course, I'm an employee of the Casual Peloton. We are Monday or we are Saturday. In this instance, we are Saturday. And of course, we are open on Saturday because on the weekends, plenty of people go for bike rides. First thing we're going to do, logically, is in our rental app, we would like to see, okay, well, what have we got going on today? We open the rental schedule, and we immediately have an overview of multiple different products that have been rented out, that have been picked up, confirmed orders, etc. But this can be a bit chaotic, because we're not really interested in which bikes are going out necessarily. It's more about which customers are picking up bikes, which customers are bringing back bikes, etc. Well, what we're going to do, of course, is I'm not really a fan currently of this weekly view. I want to see something more specific. I want to see when I'm renting out bikes today, when I can expect business to pick up. So first things first, of course, let's choose to view only what we have going on today. And we do not really want to see the products. As I said, we would like to see our customers. And we would like to see, oh, my apologies, we would like to see, of course, maybe the bikes that they have rented out. Immediately, as you can see, I have a better overview of which customer is potentially bringing something in and picking something up. You can see in our rental schedule, we have some color coding. For example, here we have a late return. You can see it's a bit of it's a shade of red. Currently, we have orange for items that have been picked up but not yet returned. If it's yellow, that means, of course, that it's a late pickup. Blue, as you can see, means that it is booked, so it is not just a potential order, that we have created. It's also actually confirmed. And should we want to see orders that we have created but not yet confirmed by potential customers, we can just, of course, filter out and we can see the grid lines on here. Well, in this instance, we are quite happy with the view, and maybe we then want to see what our customers are renting today. In that instance, we then select the product, and we have an overview of perfectly which product exactly are being rented out by which customer at any point, and of course, at what time. What time they're picking the products up, what time they're bringing it back. In this instance, well, we actually have a loyal customer that has called us and would like to rent some bike. This loyal customer is Lucas Julmont, and he specifically wants to pick up a bike today at 6 p.m. because he'd like to go on a leisurely stroll tomorrow, early morning, 6 a.m., and he doesn't feel, of course, like coming to the bike shop to pick that up at 6 a.m. That's not a problem. What we can do, that's a new feature in V19, is we could select, for example, our pickup time up until, logically, our return time. And that could be tomorrow, 9 p.m. If we have a product specified on our order, in this instance, we have, of course, our customer that is immediately added into our rental order, but also the product. So in the instance where you might have a loyal customer that frequently rents out the same product, with this, of course, is a huge time saver instead of having to look for bikes. But in this instance, he's not going for a bike ride alone. He's actually bringing a friend, so he requests a second bike. That's not a problem. What will we do? Well, in this instance, we'll actually use the catalog, because in the catalog, we have a clear overview of all the potential bikes that we have on hand at any point. In this instance, we're quite happy to actually use a Bianchi bike, for example, just the one, and we'll just go back to our rental order. As you can see, we have our Bianchi bike and our Di Rosa bike that has been selected. And a few minutes later, our customer Luca actually calls back and specifies, well, I might not be able to make it at 9, but I'll try and be there at 8 because I have something else at 9, and that's no problem. What we just do is we immediately modify our pickup time to, for example, 8 p.m. And Odoo will immediately request to update the rental prices because, of course, we will rent out the products for an hour less. Should we do so, we update our unit price, and immediately, depending on, of course, our rental pricing, it would change. If we have rental pricing based on daily rents or based on hourly rents, that would change. What we now have is, well, our customer is quite happy. We can just confirm our order, and immediately we'll see that we have 2 delivery orders created, because I want to see exactly what is going out when. I want to see what is coming in when. Let's now pretend we are an hour later, and our customer Luca comes into our store. Well, in this instance, we go back into our rental order, of course, and we could look for our schedule. And of course, should we prefer to see everything by day, product and serial number, etc., or by client, we could save it as a filter. In this instance, we haven't done it, and we don't want it to lose some valuable time for the customers. So we'll just go to our orders menu, and we'll look for our customer, Luca. I have found my customer, Luca, and, well, okay, he's come to pick his bike up. Let's just do that. We click, of course, on pickup, and we will validate the outgoing delivery. It's not really delivery, but we will validate to Odoo that it has currently left our stock and is in possession of the client. Right. We have our order confirmed. That's about it for phase 1, which, of course, was the back-end ordering and pickup. Let's now pretend I am another client, and I don't really like calling the store. I prefer just doing the business online. That's not a problem. If we go to our website, just a second, well, we come onto our shop, and immediately we have an overview of all the different products we have with, logically, our pricing per hour or per day, depending on, logically, how you want to rent out those products. Immediately, you can see we have a rental search bar added right here, and this rental search bar is quite useful because if we were to select any specific dates, for example, I want to start riding tomorrow, Sunday the 21st, and I would like to return my bike the 24th, I want to rent it out for a few days. That is not a problem. Should we select specific dates, it will automatically filter out any product that is not available for that time period. Well, in this instance, our client is just quite curious to see what have we got in store, what could I ride, and he sees this flashy bike, black and orange, okay, really nice, and he would like to rent it out. Well, unfortunately, this bike is not rented out, and we can see it in 2 different ways. Via our pickup in store option, which basically allows us to see, well, if we were to have multiple stores, in which store is it available today, for example. We can also logically see on the calendar from when to when these products are available or not available. In this instance, well, it doesn't fit within our time frame. That's no problem. We just go back to our products. We could, of course, use our rental app, which we will actually do, 21st up until the 24th. And immediately, well, we will select our Giant Propel Advanced. We can see from our option right here that it is available in our store. and I will simply add it to my cart. Once I've added it to my cart, upon checkout, I still have an option to change my rental period should I have made a mistake, should I not be happy with the pickup hour or the return hour. I'm quite happy, I'm satisfied. I'll go to the checkout, and we can select our delivery method. There's not really a delivery, but where do we want to really select or choose to pick up our bikes? We are quite happy to pick it up at the Casual Peloton in Bruges. And we have to, logically, Odoo tells us, select a specific location. Well, I select it. Now I can confirm my order. Perfect. And I have one payment method in this instance. It's pay on site. Well, why do we pay on site and not just immediately? Well, we don't know if our customer is actually going to bring the bike back on time. We would like to be able to order to have a surcharge based on the actual delay of the return. So our customer just selects pay on site, confirms the order, and you will immediately see, well, we have a message saying finalize your payment, but these messages could be customized to anything. For example, thank you for your order, thank you for your trust, etc. You could customize these to represent or to really feel like something that you would say to represent your brand. Let's go back into the website. Once this order has been placed, as you can see, our order has been confirmed. It's not just a quotation, it's actually a rental order, confirmed, of course not paid for or picked up yet. Well, what is handy about this feat is that actually, because we have a confirmed rental order, should our client have specified that he wants a specific bike, for example, a specific frame, we could quite easily on our pickup, should we desire, go to details and then specify a specific serial number to indicate it's product 1 or product 2 or product 3 that this customer has requested. We would validate our pickup just like we did, of course, with our order from the backend. And phase 2 has now come to a close. Logically, well, we have our rental order that has been picked up by the customer. A few hours pass, and back in the store, a customer comes in. This customer is actually Chris Froome. And Chris Froome is a loyal customer, quite nice, but he tends to bring his bikes back too late. So what can we do? We want, as I said, to offer a surcharge. He has, of course, picked up the goods. Now it's time to return these. If I click upon return, I have an overview of the products he's actually bringing back, and I can see the scheduled date was the 19th of September at 3 p.m. That's more than a day late, but, well, we'll allow it so long as, of course, he agrees to pay the surcharge, which he has. Well, in this instance, we now have a quality check because upon return of the bike, we do not want to just take the bike into our stock again and potentially see that we have a broken wheel, a broken frame, that we need to replace handlebar tape, etc. Well, I will conduct my quality check, and immediately upon conducting the quality check, you have an overview of the potential description or the potential steps to undertake. Well, we have to check for defects on tires, frames, handlebars, brakes, saddle, etc. In this instance, everything looks good. Chris has been quite careful on his ride. However, we see that we might need to replace the handlebar tape. In this instance, no problem, and we'll just indicate that we need to change handlebar tape, and we will fail our quality check because we do not just want to rent out our bike with handlebar tape that needs to be replaced. It's unsafe, and it's of course not a nice riding experience for the next customer. If I fail my quality check, I can then choose to send it to a specific failure location. It could be one or it could be multiple. In this instance, we just send it to the repair order, to our repair location, and I confirm it. Now that I've done my quality check, well, I could create a quality alert, but we don't really want this because it'll create a repair. We need, however, to validate the return. Why? Because if we don't validate the return of these rental goods, Odoo would logically still consider these goods to be in the customer's possession, and therefore we could not conduct a quality check or a repair order if the product is not in our repair location. We'll just validate it. Useful to know is that if you actually click validate before clicking quality check, and then you pass or fail the quality check, you will not need to validate it again, logically. Once we have done this, we will create our repair order straight from our incoming delivery, really. I just simply create repair order right here, and I'll select my product. I selected the Rosa, and I can even specify the lot or serial number, which is quite useful, as if, for example, this was a rental order with 2, 3, 4, or 5 bikes even, I could specify this product needs to be repaired and not the other one. In our repair order, in this instance, well, what can we do? We have three options. We can add, recycle, or remove a specific part. In this instance, I just want to add a handlebar tape. I'll just look for my product handlebar tape. And what this will do is this will actually take the product that I specify that I need to add from our stock and take it out because we logically have used it. I will indicate a specific responsible person, James Allen Donaldson, and I'll just save the repair order. I won't confirm it because I'm not in charge of repairs, and it could be logically that this repair order is actually not needed and I just overestimated the damage. I'll actually go back to my repair order, and let's now step into the shoes of James. James is in charge of our repairs, and in the repair app, he can immediately see, well, we have a new repair order created. It's new, but it's not confirmed. He can see which customer it's for, which bike even, and logically, it's assigned to himself. Well, he clicks on the repair order, he sees that there's something to add, and well, he's thinking, should I maybe remove or recycle something? If you remove it logically, well, that gets removed from the bike. If you recycle, basically that would be, let's imagine we have a bike that's completely broken, but we can still salvage some parts. For example, the wheel, we would recycle the wheels so that the wheels come back into our stock and we salvage as much as we can. In this instance, James is quite happy to just add handlebar tape. He sees it's, of course, available, and I'll simply confirm my repair order. I'll start my repair order, and I will end my repair order. Quite quick. With this repair order now created, what can we see? In our rental order, if we go back and we see our order from Chris Froome, well, we have a rental delay cost that has been added. As I specified earlier, we do not charge our customer upfront because depending on the specific delay, our customer could have to pay a surcharge. In this instance, our customer pays a surcharge of 100 euros because we have a policy that states if you return your product more than a day late, you simply pay a surcharge of 100 euros to account for any potential business lost for customers that might not have been able to ride the bike because we did not have it in stock. We are quite happy with the rental delay cost. This rental delay cost, by the way, gets added automatically, so you do not need to look it up. However, if you think it's maybe too high or too low, you could modify the price. We are quite happy with our rental order. I create the invoice. I will just create a regular invoice, and I will proceed with my payment. I confirm, I'll proceed with my payment. In this instance, our customer has decided to pay cash. I'll create the payment, and there we have it. So, what can we conclude? Well, with Odoo, the life cycle from order to invoice and everything in between is actually a straightforward affair. This way of working is just one of multiple different ways you could configure your repair flows, or your rental flows, my apologies, and reap the benefits. Should it be needed, you could easily add or remove steps such as quality control, any additional inventory moves, link repair or rental, my apologies, with projects, etc. In summary, whether you are a new or an existing business, and whether renting out goods is a large aspect of your business or just something that you do once every so often, you can do it too. Before we dive into the Q&A, I urge you to come see us, even though we're closing out OXP. Do not hesitate to come see me, ask your questions, but do not be left wondering what or what if. We'll now take any questions.
Thank you very much. We have several questions, sorry. First question is, can we select a serial number for a product in a quotation that isn't confirmed?
No. If it's just a quotation, logically, you do not know if that is going to be confirmed or not. You cannot just reserve a product. However, as I showed, if it is confirmed, even if we have not actually done any pickup, you can select any serial number for that specific product.
Okay, thank you. How is price computed if you rent something out for a period that isn't a round number? For example, 1 hour 45.
Well, if you rent out a product specifically and it's 1 hour 45, it will round up to, for example, 2 hours. However, the delay cost will round down, but you can always modify the price if you are unhappy with how it was computed.
Okay. If a customer wants to extend the period of the rental order after the order has been confirmed or picked up, is this possible?
Yes, actually that's not a problem. If I just were to create a rental order right here, and I will just add a specific product quite quickly actually, there we have it. just any product, for example, this bike. If I confirm it, I can still easily go and modify, for example, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. or even a later date, logically. However, I would advise to go into the schedule so that you can see if a product is actually available later or not.
And the last question is actually not a question, and it's a plus, 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 very well-built use case.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Norman.
Thank you.